This is your government test. Number 1. Which group had the most influence on the ideas stated in the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution? A. Political leaders of Spain and France. B. Artists and writers of the Renaissance. C. Religious leaders of the medieval period. D. Philosophers of the Enlightenment. Number 2. Many of the settlers of the original 13 colonies had experienced religious discrimination in Europe. Which document was created in the United States to protect against this kind of violation? A. The Bill of Rights. B. The Halifax Resolves. C. The Declaration of Independence. D. The Mayflower Compact. Number 3. Which of the following is the best definition of federalism? A democratic form of government in which officials are elected by the people. B, a division of power between the national and state governments. C, a belief in the idea of individual rights and freedoms for all. D, a form of government ruled by a king or queen. Number 4. Which document is characterized by these attributes? Congress cannot levy and collect taxes. Congress cannot regulate interstate or foreign trade. There was no national court system to settle disputes. The 13 separate states lacked national unity for the sake of individual power. A. Articles of Confederation. B. Northwest Ordinance. C. United States Constitution. D. Proclamation of 1763. Sorry. Number 5. Why did the delegates of the Constitutional Convention of 1787 decide to write a new constitution? A. To unite the country because the Revolutionary War was over. B. The Articles of Confederation were about to expire. C. They wanted to increase the power of the state governments. D. They believed that a stronger central government was necessary. Read the passage, Ratification of the United States Constitution, and answer the questions below. Ratification of the United States Constitution. Use the following dialogue to answer the following question. Debate over ratification of the United States Constitution. Speaker A. Our liberty depends on guaranteed individual rights. Citizens with these rights will be able to make decisions for the good of the whole nation. Speaker B. I admire your optimism. However, only a well-educated group of elected officials should be trusted to make decisions for the good of all. Speaker A. We must not allow for the rule of a few privileged officials to overpower the will of average citizens. Speaker B. A strong central government composed of elected officials will be acting in the best interests of all citizens. Speaker A. I fear you are ignoring the needs of the people. There must be a guarantee that the freedoms of citizens will not be trampled over by a strong national government. Number 6. In this debate between Speaker A and Speaker B, Speaker A would most likely agree that the leaders of the nation should do what? A. Establish a monarchy to establish order. B. Add a Bill of Rights to the Constitution. C. Increase the power of the federal government. D. Limit the right to vote to property owners. Article 6, Paragraph 2. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made, under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. Why is this article of the Constitution significant? A. It establishes that the United States Constitution is the highest form of law in America. B. It sets forth a state's right to change any law it does not agree with in the Constitution. C. It establishes judicial independence on the state and local levels. D. It grants supreme power to the President of the United States. Number 8. What conflict was solved by the Great Compromise during the Constitutional Convention of 1787? A. Presidential power. B. The issue of nullification. C. Representation in Congress. D. Taxes on imports. Number 9. By which process can the United States Constitution be changed? A. Veto. B. Amendment. C. Resolution. D. Civic participation. Number 10. Which newspaper headline illustrates the system of checks and balances? A. Senate rejects President's choice of Supreme Court Justice. B. North Carolina to gain 2 seats in the United States House of Representatives. C. North Carolina receives $4 million from Congress for transportation development. D. South Carolina rejects federal regulations on drug testing. Number 11. The power to govern, as granted by the United States Constitution, originates with which of the following? A. The states. B. The Supreme Court. C. The President. D. The people. Number 12. Why does the United States Constitution require that a national census be taken every 10 years? A. To provide the government with information about voter registration. B. To establish a standard for setting income tax rates in order to meet the federal budget. C. To determine the number of members each state has in the House of Representatives. D. To decide who can vote in congressional and presidential elections. Number 13. According to the United States Constitution, what does the president have the power to do? A. Control the armed forces. B. Suspend or remove legislators that he or she disagrees with. C. Grant titles of nobility. D. Reverse Supreme Court decisions. Number 14. What do Supreme Court decisions based on the First Amendment usually involve? A. Rights of individuals. B. Tax issues. C. Corruption of political officials. D. Criminal crimes. Number 15. Which of the following will be a primary source for studying influences of the United States Constitution? A. A letter from President Washington to his wife. B. A news article about Supreme Court justices. C. A book about the framers of the Constitution. D. A copy of the Federalist Papers. Read the passage, Amos Singletree, January 1788, member of the Massachusetts Constitutional Ratification Convention, and answer the question below. Amos Singletree, January 1788, member of the Massachusetts Constitutional Ratification Convention. These lawyers and men of learning and moneyed men that talked so finely and glossed over matters so smoothly to make us poor, illiterate people swallow down the pill, expect to get into Congress themselves and get all the power and all the money into their own hands, and then they will swallow all us little folks. According to the passage, we can infer, what can we infer about Amos Singletree? A, he is opposed to the Bill of Rights. B, he was an anti-federalist. C, he fought in the Revolutionary War. D, he supported a strong central government. Number 17, read the passage, Thomas Jefferson writing to James Madison, December 20th, 1787, and answer the question below. Thomas Jefferson, writing to James Madison, December 20th, 1787. I like much the general idea of framing a government which should go on of itself peaceably, without needing continual recurrence to the state legislature. I like the organization of the government into legislative, judiciary, and executive. I am captivated by the compromise of the opposite claims of the great and little states. I will now tell you what I do not like. First, the omission of a Bill of Rights, providing clearly for freedom of religion, freedom of the press, protecting against standing armies, and trials by jury. Let me add that a Bill of Rights is what the people are entitled to and what no just government should refuse. According to the passage, what was Thomas Jefferson's main objection to the Constitution? A. Giving states authority to make their own laws. B. Having three branches of government. C. The lack of protection of individual liberties. D. Granting too much power to the president. This next one is number 18. Read the passage in NC Constitution Article 2, Section 22. NC Constitution Article 2, Section 22. All bills shall be read 3 times in each house and shall be signed by the presiding officer of each house before being presented to the governor. If the governor approves, the governor shall sign it, and it shall become a law. But if not, the governor shall return it with objections, together with a veto message stating the reasons for such objections, to that house in which it shall have originated, which shall enter into the objections and veto message at large on its journal, and proceed to reconsider it. If after such reconsideration, 3/5 of the members of that house present and voting shall agree to pass the bill, it shall be sent together with the objections and veto message to the other house, by which it shall likewise be reconsidered. And if it approved by 3/5 of the members of that house present and voting, it shall become a law, notwithstanding the objections of the governor. Which democratic ideal is represented in Article 2, Section 22 of the NC Constitution? A. Limited government. B. Separation of powers. C. Popular sovereignty. D. Trial by jury of peers. That was 18. I am going to pause right here and pick up on the next video.